Education, we sent you an education calendar. The point being here, and I would summarize this by saying this. Don Graham was with us a long time. Don Graham retired. Don Graham did a good job. There is no Don Graham 2. Most of you know that. You do not find a Don Graham 2. But we found Dorsey Coleman 1. So Dorsey's going to lead our education, and our points to her have been, look at education, look at different ways to do it. Let's beef up our education, speakers and all, because credit unions are looking for that. And we went around, met with some credit unions, and that's what we heard as well. We said, why aren't you coming? They said, well, we think you need to beef it up there a little bit. And I'll bring people, I'll bring my board, I'll bring our management team, I'll bring our staff. So all of that is looking, so we want to make sure that our programs are going to be relevant, timely, convenient, and affordable. And I would say, basis on what we're doing, 2 things right now is the annual meeting. I think we've done that. And if you bring your directors to our Southeast Regional, we don't have to go to San Diego and all those places. It's going to be a top-notch program right here in Virginia, in Norfolk, in July. So check those out. This is our group. We think of education, we think of conferences we put on, one-day seminars, but it's also our consultants going out and doing programs as well, trying to beat that up. Mike Reed that Dorsey works for, Deborah Scott, most of you know her, been with us a long time, and Tim and Mary Ann are our 2 consultants. They're doing in-house training as well, so we're looking how we can improve that and overhaul that as well. You'll see more surveys from us on this to make sure that we're meeting your education needs, so you need to tell us what you're looking for in education. We'll try to keep communicating a better way for you, make it easier for you to sign up on our new website. We have a new MINBI, we call database, that we just implemented for all our credit unions so that we can keep data on all our credit unions, and then they'll have satisfaction surveys, quality assurance to make sure we're meeting that. Compliance, big area. Not where we want to be today in compliance, but we're going to get there. Again, we lost the employee with us, Kristen, who had done an exceptional job. I was a Kristen fan. I'm still a Kristen fan. She left, got a good opportunity, wished her well. But with that, that gave David Miles and I opportunity to say, hey, can we do compliance a little bit different than we've done in the past? And I think we can. And that's where we're working. Hopefully, most of you have had the opportunity to meet Nathan Bowden, our new attorney on staff. One of the things we wanted to do was to get an attorney back on staff to do compliance. We had not had one until the late 70s. We were fortunate to find Nathan. I'm hearing good reports back from him as he's meeting with credit unions and answering credit union questions. He is now certified in compliance. He originated from Atlanta, Georgia, a large firm there, moved to Lexington, Virginia, where his wife is a professor at W&L, and wanted to leave his practice and go in with an association, so it's a good fit. He lives close by, so Nathan's there. What we're going to commit to do is redirect resources. I think we just made a job offer, I understand, from Nathan on Friday. We're going to add 2 more people to compliance, so we will have 3 internal compliance folks, and we're looking for people who have done compliance work in credit unions or banks. And so where we hope to be in the very near future is to have 3 internal compliance folks, so that they're there to answer your questions, but they're also there to go in-house and work with you one-on-one in-house. Nick Albo, who's also certified compliance. Most of you know we've had the HR hotline with Woods Rogers for 7-8 years. A lot of our credit unions like that service. We get good reviews from that. To call a HR when you got an HR issue, Dan Summerlin and Tom Wynn. I will just tell you, Dan Summerlin was just named the Elite HR Attorney of the Year in Virginia. So Dan and Tom have been with us a while. We decided as a backup to add one of their attorneys for compliance. Nick Albo does that, so he's available toll-free. So point being here, value for dues. We we got 4 attorneys here. We're going to add 2 more. We're going to have 4 people dedicated in the very near future to compliance for credit unions. And then we'll have our 2 attorneys on HR as well internally. So we want to expand our online compliance resources. There are a lot of good ideas that Nathan has. He wants to add compliance up on the website. And so as he gets staffed up, we will do that. My point on that is we're not going to leave the compliance area. I know there are CUSOs that do it. I know you have other credit union attorneys that you work with, and that's fine. I was talking to Nathan the other day. This was kind of a benefit that I hadn't realized that I think we'll get from this is Nathan was actually talking to a couple of credit union attorneys that work for individual credit unions in the state, and they were discussing issues. And I said, that's got a lot of positive into it too. So if a credit union has their attorney who's talking to the league attorney on an issue, I think that's win for us, win for you. We all win in that. So I know Nathan wants to do more of that. We will probably put together some type of credit union attorney conference here at some point in time in Virginia with credit union attorneys that Nathan and his group could lead. We want to continue to make sure our compliance conferences, which are always highly evaluated, we want to make sure that we keep where we need to be there, and hopefully when we get full staff can provide a compliance checklist service to credit unions where we'll actually go out with our compliance folks and make sure you're where you need to be with compliance. So we're spending a lot of resources in there. Again, not where we need to be today, but moving very quickly to get where we're going to need to be in the future. Obviously, some of this will be some social media based. We've talked about creating a compliance information forum on LIG website. I know there are a lot of those listservs going around the United States on compliance, but another one just internally in Virginia probably would be a good thing. And I talked about the forum for credit union attorneys. LIG Service Corporation, led by Terry, Gene Sullivan, David, Karima, who runs our shared branching. We still manage that shared branching. Credit Union Service Company in Virginia, and Mary Amex. 2 things here, basically the challenge to Terry. LIG Service Corporation is very important to us. As we can drive revenue in that keeps the dues low. Dues today in this state run about $1.5 million to our association. We make about $2 million in our service corporation. The service corporation went away. At least dues, for us to do everything we're talking about here today, dues would at least double in this state without the LIG Service Corporation. That's why it's important to us to run a business, make money, make a profit. I've asked Terry to go through with his staff, which he's in the process of doing. We'll have a report back to the board in April to look at every product and service that we partner with today to say, is that a partnership that we need to maintain in the future? Or should we sever that and move in another direction? So that process is being worked on as we speak today. The second challenge was we need to find a service that benefits credit unions with some partner that we can line up with a vendor, with the league, and with credit unions, where the partner brings a good product to the marketplace that is beneficial to our member credit unions. We put money in the game. We put up investment dollars there. We bring that to the marketplace for the partner and with us. And we ask credit unions to put up money in it, so everybody's got skin in the game. It's a good product and service for credit unions. Kind of what we did in shared branching about almost 20 years ago, where we brought that to the marketplace and asked credit unions to participate. I don't know what that service is going to be, but we want to begin to look at those type services because that's a form of collaboration I think that's needed in this state. And if it can be, it won't be there for every credit union, but for a lot of our credit unions, I think if we can bring something in the marketplace. And that is a challenge to Terry and his staff to do that because, as Terry and I have talked, there's no low-hanging fruit that he can just go pick off the tree and we'll take that to the marketplace. Easier said than done, but I think that's where we need to be. And we're driving our service to to do that, so Terry and his staff is looking at that. We think we're getting close to something there. We do utilize, we got Evan Dowdy here, CEO from Connects, who chairs our collaborative task force. We have about 7 or 8 CEOs around the state. We're using this group as a sounding board to bring those type of ideas and let them debate it, talk about it. Does it make sense? How do we price it? Then we can bring that back to our service corporation and league board. So we've looked at several things in the past, not been able to pull the trigger on anything here in the last year or so, but I'm hoping we're getting close right now. The idea is in this area to roll out something in the next year. Cooperative Awareness Campaign. Tiffany Walsh is the marketing person at Bayport, and I think Susan Epperson from County of Henrico is on that, right, Nicole? Nicole, we put together awareness, credit union awareness task force. And let's think about this a minute. Wouldn't it be nice, and I know we've talked about this at least 3 or 4 times in my 30-year career here, wouldn't it be nice if we could put together a statewide awareness campaign for consumers in this state so that they become much more aware of credit unions? And wouldn't it be nice if a $1 billion credit union supported that with a $500,000 credit union at some level? I think that's good. I think it's getting back to collaboration. I think that's a worthy initiative for your league to try to drive in this state. The task force has had their first meeting. They already came up with some recommendations. We went back to the league board with some changes. Our plan is to deliver this early part of 2013, have a funding mechanism in place to bring to you later this year for your consideration at your credit union to support it. And another step they're going to take prior to that, and for you CEOs in this room, you'll probably be getting a phone call from Nicole to talk to you about what are your expectations if, in fact, we do an awareness campaign in this state. What are your individual expectations? And that was actually driven by the task force, who we have about 8 marketing professionals on that, and very talented folks. I know they're going to come up with a good plan of action to do that. I don't know what all the media will look like. Don't know what the campaign will say. They'll be working on that over the course of the year. They'll be working on the funding mechanism that will go to the board, it'll be approved, and we'll bring it out to credit unions. But I think it has the opportunity to be very successful, and it's not where we want to do a hit and miss and just go in and do one and be done with it. I think we're trying to put something in place that can be built on. Good news here, the Virginia Credit Union League Board of Directors, and I applaud them again, they've stepped up and put $50,000 in the budget to start the awareness campaign. I was delighted that the Credit Union Service Company of Virginia committed $10,000 to the effort, because they see if we can be successful there, drive more people to credit unions, that's utilizing shared branching and outlets in this state and across the United States. So that's a win-win. So that's $60,000 we got to start. We're talking to a couple more partners that may increase the dollar amount. How much we'll need, I don't think we've defined that yet. In some parts of this state, it can be very expensive depending on the type of media that you picked. I do know this. But I've had a couple people at town hall meetings say the more you raise, the better program you can have, and that's probably true. So whether that's $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, the more we can raise, the more credit unions commit. And we've done some of this before in the past. Some of it we funded from the league. We're not in a position to do that other than the $50,000 we've committed going out. But if we can have the more dollars we get, I think we could have a very successful campaign. So be looking for that. Be interested in your comments on that today.